routine. So while we're waiting on Shar, I just want to thank those of you, I guess, who reached out to me this week. Nothing's wrong. Everything's Gucci. We can talk about it in an hour or two. Everything's good. I just, the capacity that you once saw me at online, you likely won't see me at that capacity online going forward if things keep going the way that they're going. But like I said, we can exclusively and explicitly dive deep into that within the next hour. This hour is dedicated to Shar Did That, Shar Johnson. So let me see. We're going to wait for her to come on in the room. And then you all know the routine. The after show, hour 2, is when I tell you my business. So I'm going to give Shar like 1 more minute. And if she's not here in a minute, then I'm going to have to DM her this thing like, hey, sis, where you at? Don't be worried about my snap. Hold on. Let me send this to Shar. Okay, I just sent it to her. But anyway, per the usual, if you're doing okay, if you're doing well this morning, give me a thumbs up. I'm doing really well. Like I said, don't let the absence from social media, the obvious absence from social media, fool you. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. But I told you all, I'm relentlessly dedicated to self-preservation. I'm not interested in anything else that is not preserving Shar. Because if I'm not, who else is? You get what I'm saying? I can't keep giving myself to the internet. I'm going to use my MacBook to text her. She's in Texas, so it's I think we're 2 hours apart. She's in Houston, I believe. And I don't want our hour to get away from us. So let me use my other Apple device let me see. Give me 1 second. But anyway, what a week this has been. I do have to acknowledge before she comes on, there was so much that happened with Toyin. Remember the 19-year-old young lady who was murdered in Florida? She was on the front lines for Black Lives Matter, and she was murdered. Her 20th birthday would have been last week. We just came across the 15th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, which is so surreal. It's so surreal to think about. Because if you're like me, Hurricane Katrina is one of those defining moments where you remember where you were. And I have family in Louisiana. I have family in Texas. And so it's Hurricane Laura. It's a lot going on in the news, not to mention Chadwick, who's one of my celebrity crushes. The Black Panther. T'Challa. I was rocked by that news. But don't get confused. Just because my online presence isn't as strong as it normally is, it doesn't mean that I'm not still in the headlines. I'm tired, y'all. But I'm good. Let me see something. FaceTime Shar.
Which one?
Oh, let's do this one.
Making a FaceTime call.
I don't know where she's at. Yes, Nina. And if she's not here, then I guess I'll just proceed. I'll keep going. I do have lots to talk to you all about. Aside from that, you hear the call, right? Okay, let me just text her. Anywho, so I was listening to Janelle Monáe's, because I don't know where she is. So I'm going to text her one time and then we'll go from there. Maybe she got caught up in something, and that's okay. So I was listening to Janelle Monáe. One of my favorite Janelle Monáe songs, which happens to be on one of my playlists, is Queen. Remember the collaboration she did with Erykah Badu, Queen? And so I was listening to that the other day, and one thing that everyone's saying she's still in bed. It's 1 p.m. in Texas. Maybe so. And if she is, that's okay. You know what? She's my good sis. We have a history together. So if she's still in bed, that's okay. However, so I was listening to Janelle Monáe's song Queen, And she has a line in there that says, and if anybody wants to go split screen with me, hop on. I know it's early in LA, but if you're in any other state or whatever, hop on. But she has a lyric in that song that says, I know this life is just a play with no rehearsal. And so that really stood out to me as I was listening to the song. Like, I've always listened to the song. It's not anything new for me. And, you know, it's been weird. It's been weird. And I don't want you all to judge me when I say this, but it's been weird in the way in which we know that we only have, like, it's a YOLO type thing. Like, we only have, you know, one life to live, so to speak. But it has been very, 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 very strange to see a shift in conversation in a matter of days. But I know that's how social media, I know that's how groupthink works. It is so strange, with all due respect to my fallen celebrity crush, Chadwick Boseman. It's so strange to see the internet and all of these people push this idea, push this rhetoric of, you never know what people are going through. Be kind, which I agree with, right? But just 7 days ago, you all were attacking Meghan. Just 7 days ago, and 7+ days ago, you all were justifying violence against trans people. So how does this compassion show up? I'm glad that it's here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not railing against that. But it's like, how does this compassion, how do you all compartmentalize? Where's the disconnect in that we can all kumbaya and woo 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 with every celebrity death, which hits us hard? Like I said, you know, Chadwick's death was a surprise to us all. No one knew. That man was battling stage 4 colon cancer for 4 years. No one knew. It shocked me. Okay, so here's the thing. I was coming home from lunch. I went to lunch with some friends, well, a late lunch on Friday. And so when I was driving home, one of my friends had texted me and let me know the news. And I was like, no way. Certainly no way. No way. And my mind instantly went to everything else but cancer, because that's just the way that 2020 is. But just existing and keeping my foot on the news, it's been hard. Well, not hard. That's the wrong adjective. It's been interesting, certainly, to watch people push compassion when just last week, you know, but I'm mature enough and I know enough to know that, you know, this is something that happens with every celebrity death. I feel like we come together as a culture in the kumbaya and the woo 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 of it all. And then I wouldn't be surprised if next week people go back to their same, you know, the same mess of it all. And what's crazy is last week's episode, when I was talking to Johnny, or it might have been the after show, I mentioned that you never know what headline is around the corner. And it feels particularly pointed, particularly sensitive in 2020. And later on that day, we had, you know, Jacob Blake. So it's just like, yet again, thing after thing after thing after thing. And I feel like I don't really have anything to add to the conversation. So I've been laying low and not spreading it wide. Shout out to Evelyn Braxton. But I've been laying it low. And I've been fine. Like I said, like I mentioned, thanks to all of you all who reached out to me. Those of you on a business end who I have yet to get back to, it's going to happen today. It's going to happen today. That's another thing, right? I had got so many inquiries this week to go live, to join panels, like panels for like actual events happening with discourse surrounding Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, y'all, I can't afford to do that anymore. Mentally, and like, money isn't the motive, but I've worked so much for free this year. Like, I've earned money, but I've done a lot for free within the last coming months. And it's like, if you demand my voice to be in this space, you need to toss me something, okay? Shar has a car note now and insurance. And so I turned down a lot of stuff based on no budget and based on being just emotionally drained with being in the cycle of it all, right? So it's been, like I said, this week has not been easy. We got Chadwick, Jacob Blake, Hurricane Laura wreaking havoc on Texas and Louisiana, Toyin's 20th birthday, Cliff Robinson, who is a former Survivor contestant and also a former NBA player. I don't know his cause of death, but he passed away this week. at the age of 53. It's funny how 53 used to seem old. And now that I'm 33, it's like a 20-year, it doesn't seem so old, right? So thank you, Jace. Jace says you have value. Nina says, pay me my intellectual property, man. Like really that, and I've never been that girl really, because I don't mind working for free. I still feel like I'm, what is it? Like I'm paying my dues. I still very much feel that way, but Shar got bills. And you're asking me to tap into some level of trauma. Like I'm certainly not interested in engaging with discourse surrounding Black Lives Matter, which that's a lot of stuff I was tapped for. A lot of stuff. Or proving, it's very, very hard living in a world where you feel disposable. And that's something that I've been coping with all summer. Like I've always kind of felt that way, but I feel like this year it's been louder. And I think it's because all of the distractions, my social life, everything has kind of went away. So everything that's coming through on the Twitter and all of that, like literally y'all, I can't read another hot take. That's why I took a break. I'm tired of videos. I'm tired of no trigger warning. I'm tired of everybody. It seems like everybody rushes to, and this isn't a dig because people have jobs to do. The hot takes are a lot. And then especially when people are, you feel, the people where you feel like people are trying to be contrarians on purpose. You know what I'm talking about. So enough of that. So let's move on. Today is VMA Sunday. Will you be watching? I want to know what age, leave in the comments, what age is it that you felt like you, what's his face, that you, I guess kind of phased out of VMA, out of the audience demographic. Because this year, let me tell you, I will be watching because Keke Palmer is hosting. I don't know if I'll be there for the whole show, but I'll be there for some of it because I have my Sunday night programming. I got Lovecraft. I got Potomac. I watched P-Valley last night. I got to cover up this logo because I still use, this was a Christmas gift from a company I'm no longer affiliated with because their founders were in blackface. But I still use this, so I'm covering up the logo. I watched P-Valley last night, the latest episode. We got one more left to go. So I have my Sunday night programming, plus I have a big week that I'm jumping into. But what age did you feel like you phased out of the VMAs? I'm no longer in that demographic. Oh yes, Jace. Yes, this is it. Oh, there's Shar. Yes, Shar. I was carrying on the show with what's going on. Shar is coming in. This is my good sis. We've known each other since 2006.
Hello? I'm fucking screaming.
I'm not doing this with you today.
I don't want you to have to do anything you...
Shar.
Hi, Shar.
Good afternoon, Texas. Good morning, Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone. What is
I was giving you grace because everyone in the comments was like, oh, she's got to still be asleep. Because I'm like, I don't know where she's at. I FaceTimed you. I text you. But, I kept going because, this is what I do. It's no shade, no tea. I wasn't angry or anything. I just was like, well, where the hell is she?
Yeah, so funny story. My dad's birthday was Friday. I live in Houston. He lives in Dallas. And so I actually went to Dallas last weekend for a funeral, unfortunately. So I was really contemplating, like, do I want to go back to Dallas again? 2 weekends in a row is kind of a lot, So I ended up going.
And that's a 4-hour drive.
It's a 4-hour drive, which sounds like nothing, but I'm getting older. Okay.
Do you stop at Buc-ee's? Are you a Buc-ee's girl?
Oh, I'm a Buc-ee's bitch.
Me too.
So I just ended up getting a flight because the flight's only like 40 minutes and the, tickets right now are so cheap. So I literally just got back from the airport like an hour ago. And then Babe's like, let's go get brunch. And I'm like, oh, just living my best life. And I'm like, and then Babe's like, don't you have that thing with Shar today? And I was like, what time is it? So
listen, I'm glad you were able to make it. Are you gonna, you look like you have a setup. Are you about to do your makeup or something?
I actually am because I'm already dressed. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can definitely do this with Shar because I know we've planned this. And then I can just put on a little bit of concealer because the bitch is looking a little Jet
You're still
lag.
beautiful. And you cut, okay, so let's just dive into this. You can start your makeup or whatever. You got 45 minutes while we're on live.
Yes.
Can you finish it while you talk?
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm just probably gonna put on some concealer, babe. Will you come here, babe? I'm probably just gonna put on some
Hi,
concealer.
Mahogany.
Hi.
So Jay says, Shar says so, and Shar did that. I can't. Oh yes. So Shar, what's been going on? Okay, I want to know the inspiration behind cutting off the tails of your eyebrows. You have beautiful brows.
Okay.
What made you remove them?
Thank you. Baby, will you soak this? Thank you, my love. So I'm at this point in my social media journey where I'm like really trying to push towards like push out of the box. So I have almost 8,000 followers, but I'm really trying to reach 10. Like it's like a goal that I have. So
Same.
Same.
I have almost 8,000 too. Same.
So for me, you know, you kind of sometimes have to like think like what's not going right, like what's keeping me stagnant, like, you know. So for me it was like, bitch, you need to cut your eyebrows off. So I cut the end of my brows, and so now, and I'll do them on camera, I'm kind of like styling them differently. Like I actually do, like, instead of me like boom boom, now I just do straight across, which a lot of big time influencers do.
So that's very I am Sasha Fierce.
So, you know, just something to switch it up, keep the people guessing, like, yo, like, you know, just so that hopefully, like, I can maybe even attract another audience of people that are, like, into fucking brows like that. I don't know. But
yeah. You know, I'm a brow girl. We've known each other. So backstory, which if you all have ever been on any live with Shar and myself, backstory, Shar and I met in the fall of 2006. We went to college together. And we met in the fall of 2006 and kind of just instantly clicked.
Absolutely.
Like we saw each other. Like that's what I felt like. We saw each other.
Bae wants to say hi. Come on.
Come on, Mo.
Hi.
Hi, gorgeous.
Look, my set.
Oh my gosh, the set is broken. Mo, come on now.
I just had to come say hi to my friend Shar. How are you?
I'm doing fairly well, Mahogany.
Los Angeles has you beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you're glowing.
Thank you. Well, you know, I've been in here praying and fasting and crying and trying to figure things out, dealing with loose braids, you know? So yeah, I've been trying, Mahogany, I really have been doing a lot of self-discovery work that has rattled me to my core and made me question almost everything that I thought I knew for sure. It's kind of hit a hard reset for me. I cried yesterday while reading a book because something happened full circle in the book that I was joking around with this phrase in January. So here's the backstory. I'll tell you all. Okay. So back in January, you know, my birthday is January 2nd. When my birthday rolled around, the theme of my 2020 was to do nothing without intention. Shout out to Solange.
Hello.
And I said, count it all joy. So Count It All Joy came from the Whitney Houston and the BB and CC song. Like they have a gospel song together, Count It All Joy or whatever. So I was reading this book called, titled All About Love by Bell Hooks. And in one of the chapters, it talks about like divine, like love, like tapping into the divine, the source for love. And she references how our suffering, a lot of times people turn to like religious practices and self-help when they're going through the bad stuff, but aren't there for the good stuff. And she talks about how people are programmed to do this as a means to miraculously rid yourself of your problem. But what we're supposed to do, or I shouldn't say supposed to, what's laid out in front of us is the problem doesn't go away. It's about how you repurpose the problem. Like it doesn't go away. It's about you molding and shaping and repurposing it. And that's why biblical text tells us to count it all joy, because we have to count it all. And I just burst out in tears while reading this because I wasn't seeking that. Like I felt like I stumbled across this. And that's what I mean by this radical honesty, this like transparent. This has been a transformative year for me. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And I'm not being dramatic. You know I can be just as dramatic as you, because you can be dramatic.
We do it together, bitch.
We do.
But I feel that, and it's definitely been, I mean, especially like with your birthday being at the beginning of the year, like it's like literally by February, I just feel like shit was in shambles. It's been a long year, and we're only 8 months in, and I feel like we're like like tomorrow should be New Year's Day. Like that's
Well,
I'm like
that's why I told people, I have looked at this year as just gone, but I'm not clinging on to the rhetoric of, 2020 is trash, 2020 is garbage. Because while that may be true, another truth that exists for me is that 2020 has been a gift, and that if I had not been subjected to some of the stuff that I was subjected to this year, when would I have been subjected to it? Because I feel like it's been necessary. Everything, count it all joy.
count it
Everything
all.
that's happened this year has been necessary for me to get to the other side, for me to better myself, to water this plant type thing. You know what I'm saying?
I like count it all joy.
I think this was whenever you said doing some soul searching type, shaking you to your core, I think that's this entire year has been that. So people writing 2020 off, it's like, you've been waiting to get shaken to your core, and here you are.
Yeah.
Everything about your life.
Because you know what, Mahogany, the issue is people have an idea of what being shaken looks like.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't look that way, they resist it instead of falling into it. See, I didn't have an option. I was at my wit's end, okay? I was going through it, not through it, but through it. And so I didn't have an option but to lean into it and fall into it. You know what I'm saying? So, Shar, I need to know, what have you been doing? What have you been doing to occupy your time? I always ask all of my guests, have you been reading anything? What have you been watching? What have you been listening to? What have you been doing to pass the time?
Well, I have recently got back at work, so that's helped me, but like deep into the quarantine, I wish I could say that I was reading. I'm just like such an aspiring reader. Like I've been aspiring to read for like 10 fucking years. Like I want to do it so bad. And like I have beautiful, intelligent friends that I feel like are always like sharing books. I'm like, oh my God, such a good read. I'm in this and I'm like, oh, I want to be like that person. And I'm not. So, and I've come to find that about myself. So, and it's funny that you were talking about like when we're going through something, how we like indulge ourselves in like help. Cause that was for me when I got sick. Like I was just like praying and I was reading the Bible, which I always aspire to do, but I don't, So it's like, when I was going through that, I was finally like getting in touch with, the big G man, and I was doing all these things. So really acquiring my time has just been, I have a new dog. He's been taking up a lot of my time. I've really tried to indulge, and Shar did that, like really just try to.
Hold on. I've seen your new dog on your stories, but you have not been neglecting my Shane, have you?
Absolutely not. No, Shane gets all the love. Like Shane is my baby.
Oh, hi, Shane.
Shane is mama's OG baby, but I did get a new, when you get a new baby and everyone's like, I want to see the baby. And like, no one gives a fuck about the 8-year-old anymore. You know what I mean?
And listen, as the elder of my siblings, and my sisters were the first set of twins on the Jossells, I was quickly disregarded. I learned the hard way at 5 what that feels like. So
all my friends are like, you are treating Shane so bad. It's like, it's not that I'm treating him bad. He lives a nice life.
He really does. He really does. You all, for those of you who don't know, which I'm guessing a lot of you don't, what year was that I came to Dallas and I stayed in your nice apartment with the chalkboard wall?
Yes, that was for Tim's wedding. So what, 3-4 years ago?
That was probably 4 years ago. I feel like that was 2017. Like the New Year's going, like 2016 transitioning into 2017.
Yeah, because this is deep into her marriage.
Good life. We had a good time there. My memory is always you and Mahogany. Every time I see you all together, I think about you all in the drive-thru when we were leaving that night, because y'all were on one.
Were we fighting?
Yes.
Why do so many people have memories of me and my girlfriend fighting?
I don't know. Like, I was like in the car, like, okay, like, and it was just over dumb stuff. Like, we were literally, I think we were like in a Jack in the Box. Like, we tried to go to Waffle House and somebody didn't want Waffle House, so we went to the Jack in the Box drive. Because we had to get away, and that's no shade to the way, but you know how things were. Yeah. And there were what was it, like remnants of some phobias and some conversations that I didn't appreciate.
We gotta go.
And that's
and
all.
Of course,
That's with love. to our friend group, but you know, there was some. I'm hoping that people will be more evolved and better today. That's all I'll say.
Child. Sometimes you just gotta go. I mean, sometimes you only need to be there for a moment. The
Yeah.
wedding was beautiful, but now me, my friend, my girlfriend, we about to fucking go. Like,
Yeah.
none of you
And
are
we
certain what it
we
is.
had such a good time. So let's move. So you said, oh, so what have you been listening to? What have you been watching? And
So
you
sorry,
said you
babe.
don't read. Are you not a fan? Huh?
I'm sorry. People keep calling me. That's why it's going in and
Oh,
out.
no
What
worries.
happened?
I was saying that you, is there anything that you've been watching? Is there anything that you've been listening to? Because you mentioned that you're not a reader. Are you open to audiobooks, podcasts, anything? Or are you just more so music?
I'm a music girl, but I could definitely do a podcast. But really, I've just been watching. Like, I'm such a Food Network junkie. Like, it's literally the only channel that I watch. Like, literally. And then I got into Greenleaf, but I had to cut myself loose of that shit because it was becoming too much for me. Like, I was addicted. It was like in every space I was. Like, I was in the bathroom doing my hair, watching it on my phone. I was like, Shar, cut it loose. So
You know it ended.
I
It's
know,
over now.
but I want to catch up. Like, I want to feel, because I ended season 4.
Okay.
And so that's when I stopped watching it. And, you know, they had, what's her name? Beautiful woman, star of the show. Whatever her name.
Are you talking about Lynn Whitfield or Merle? Which one?
Her daughter. Her oldest
The
daughter.
light-skinned girl, Merle?
Yes.
Yes, Merle Dandridge, I believe her name is.
Merle, they had Merle with the sun. It just became too much for me. I'm like, okay, bitch, I'm done with this for now.
Merle always reminds me just a twinge of Ashley Benson.
Oh, okay.
Do you see it?
No.
You don't see it. It's just a twinge.
Okay, twinge. How do you spell twinge?
I don't know. Twinge. Yes, just a twinge.
Just a little twinge.
People who didn't go to college with us are not catching any of these references, but that's okay.
What have you been doing? But yeah, what have you been reading? Like, what is your? I heard you say the book about love, and I actually last Sunday with Shar, you were on here with like someone that you worked with before.
Well, I was on with Johnny. You might have been talking about Megan.
Okay, the week before.
I was on with Megan. Yeah.
And you guys were talking about books, and I tuned in and I wrote down the book that you said because I was like, "Ooh, maybe one day we'll read." But I haven't.
Girl, I've been like I said, I've been reading all about love. I just kind of really dove into it though because it's been a minute because I haven't been in the headspace for reading lately.
Gotcha.
But I've been all over. Like I haven't been doing anything in particular, really. Just literally focus on self-preservation because as a journalist, as a talking head, so to speak, I have not had any hot takes to offer up anyone. I'm tired. I am exhausted. I'm depleted. I was even questioning it. This is really what I wanted to do. And I've determined that it is as long as I need the coin. Like I could do a lot of things if, you know, I don't want to sound like money is the motivation, but listen, I'm on the margins of society trying to survive.
Hello.
So it's just.
And that's where I am right now with Shar Did That. You know, I feel like Shar Did That is amazing. I love it. It's my baby. Like I literally moved to New York to pursue Shar Did That. And now I'm back in Texas. But these
so did you move back to Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I was already honestly planning on moving back just because I felt like two years in New York was enough for me. Like I was like, I'm good. But then once Mama Corona came through, I was like, oh, I'm really good. I'm about to go. Clearly still took a little bit of her in my baggage, but it's okay. And so I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, I've worked on this for like 2 years faithfully, right? Like I've, you know, devoted myself, my time, my nights, my mornings, my afternoons. I need more money to come from this. So it's like, it's to the point now to where I'm like, certain things that I have been giving so much of that were free, we're going to scale that back and put a little price on it, you know? God bless.
Because you deserve, you're one of the most talented. I think that's why we initially bonded, because we were glam girls at 18. Granted, I had my hits and misses. I don't know if you feel like you had your hits and misses.
Absolutely.
It's been quite a journey, you know, with foundation matching and using concealer. That's why I can never post the picture that I took of Monica. I helped when Monica came and performed at our school,
Come on.
I helped. I was part of the committee. I got her green room together and things like that. So when she walks into the building, I took a picture with her, and I will never, like, Danica and I at the time had a running joke of the Monica highlight, because my concealer, oh my God.
Talk about it. We call it the London look when you're trying to get.
No, really, it was so light. Like, the contrast was so light.
But it's not your fault, Shar. You know why, bitch? Because that was all we were being served.
And I realized that I was heavily, at the time, I was heavily influenced, because that is as the Kardashians were kind of infiltrating the beauty world. And at that time, in 2009, it was all about super, 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 super light concealer and smoky eyes at lunch, like Kris Jenner. Like, that's what it was about. And 747 longs. That was my history. And I bleached my eyebrows.
747 mediums.
Yeah. And I bleached my eyebrows out. And listen, we went through some trial and error. But I feel like that's why we connected.
That's why we bonded. Yeah. Makeup is such it's been so many things for me. Like, it's been a friend. It's allowed me to meet amazing people, you know, and so now, like, just moving forward, I want it to be something that can put money in my pockets and keep me happy. I would love for one day to, like, not have to teach and, like, only do makeup, but, you know.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because it's so interesting. Yesterday, I'm part of the National Association of Black Journalists, Los Angeles chapter. I sit on the board, darling.
Okay,
But,
yes!
So yesterday's meeting, we talked to someone who did a pivot from journalism into, like, screenwriting and filmmaking. So with respect to you and your career journey, I know that when you graduated, you were a science teacher, a very popular teacher. The kids loved Miss Johnson, honey.
Oh, they love me. I love the kids too.
But you've always had a knack and a talent for makeup. So what has that career transition been like for you? Because you haven't fully relinquished teaching, right?
No, I have not. I tried that for a year. A bitch was broke. So, and thank God my mom took me in. But, like, in hindsight, like, I literally would have been sleeping on someone's couch because I was just bartending and trying to make it work. Like, could I have persevered and, like, tried to do it longer? Yes, but I don't like being broke too long. It was stressful.
Girl, me neither. I got financial insecurity. I think that's what it's called. I'd be like, I'm constantly, like, I will wake up in the middle of the night and check my account to make sure no one scammed me, to make sure, you know, when I slid my card at the gas station earlier, no one yanked everything out of my account.
Yeah.
Like, I legit have trauma around finances.
It's a lot. Especially when you're hanging on to, like, $63. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you know that can't shit go wrong up in this motherfucker, like, if I get one slip, I'm
You know what's crazy? You know it's crazy, not to pivot the conversation, but I was just telling my mom this, because I just bought a car 2 weeks ago. And I was telling my mother said, because I told her, like, I went and got gas and what that felt like. And she said, well, why didn't you just pay at the pump? And I said, I didn't pay at the pump because I'm still traumatized from Smitty's. One time I had, you know, in undergrad, I had a Camry. But one time, I think I only had like $70 to my name. And we were taking a field trip to the mall. And I remember I paid outside with Smitty for gas. And you know how they always sometimes take a little bit extra?
Right.
They took like I think I put $20 in my tank.
They put that hold on your ass.
Shar, we got to that damn Penn Square Mall, and we're at the food court, and I thought I was about to have my Kung Pao chicken and noodles, and they said my card was declined. And I said, no. I know I should have, I put $20 in my tank. I should have at least $50 left on this card, like, at least.
And in college, like, $50 was like $1,000. Like, I have $50.
I know what I have because, you know, I was doing, for those of you who don't know or who didn't go to college with us, I was the eyebrow girl. I was waxing eyebrows. I only charged $5, but I had at least, at minimum, anywhere from $35 to $50 in my pocket every week. Oh, yeah. Every week. Because it was...
Everyone was going to you.
Everyone was going to me to get their brows sculpted, and I was knocking them out. But I say that to say that's why I have trauma. So to this day, when I go to the gas station, I go inside to the clerk.
Because you don't want that hole.
I'm not doing the outside thing because I'm scared that you're going to get $400 out for security purposes and give it back later.
I get that.
By the way, one of my friends ended up paying for my Kung Pao chicken and chow mein. But I was mortified. I said, "What? Come again? What do you mean?"
Yeah, it's
My card is
embarrassing.
declined.
I don't want to go back to be like, I saw a post and it was like your 30s are like your 20s, but with money. And I felt that because I've been I mean, God knows I need more money and
Yeah.
I'm not rich. But when I remember being like hanging on to $34, like, oh Lord. And still going to get food. Like I'm still gonna go to McDonald's. And when I get out of McDonald's, Lord, I'm only gonna have 29. And I'm gonna hold on. Like what? I cannot.
And then still going to Miss Meeks because the pretty nasty party is Friday.
Hello?
So still going to Miss Meeks
So I'm
because
gonna
we
go
got
to Charlotte Russe and get a $12 dress. I'm gonna go to
I'm gonna go to Wet Seal and get a $10 pump, $10 pastel.
Hello? So that's a $20 outfit.
And some bangles.
Okay. I get into the party for free because it's on campus. So I'm going to get a $7
working the door.
bottle.
And Stephanie's working the door. So
Hello?
I'm getting them for free.
Hello? So let me go to Miss Meeks and get a $7 bottle to round out the whole $27 weekend. And I'm going to kick it like
Kick it.
Okay?
And I'll see you in the cafe at 10 a.m. I'm not going to miss.
A little hungover. And if we're too hungover, we're going to drive to McDonald's and give me 2 things off the dollar menu. It's a $30 weekend. I mean, hello?
Oh my God. You have tears in my eyes. Because it was so real. Oh my God. It was so,
that
oh my God.
the life we were living. And I'm so thankful, Shar. Like, and I mean, I know that I'm doing Sundays with Shar and I'm so happy to be here with you. But I mean, like, I think it's just such a reflection of like where we've came from. And I'm so thankful of like where we are. And so when I see you in LA and it's like, and you got your car and I'm like, yes, bitch, you are fucking doing it. Like, I remember when you first moved there, you know? So it's like.
That was 6 years ago. 6 years ago.
We have been kept, is what I'm saying. We've been kept, okay?
My God, today.
Hello.
So everybody's rattling off their liquor, talking about Mad Dog, Sveka, Banana Red.
I was what was I? Baby!
While you're waiting on Mo, I'll tell you, I was a Tavarsky girl, Tavarsky vodka.
That sounds
it only came in 80 proof and 100 proof.
Woo!
And in the depths of my undergrad depression, I would carry a little bottle in my purse. Do y'all need to know this? I don't know if you all need to know this. Anyway, I used to get a cup with styrofoam and mix. Remember when Four Loko were big? Like
almost killed us. We could have died.
I did Four Loko and vodka with a splash of juice in a styrofoam cup, and I would be at those basketball games watching you cheer. Oh, yes. People, I went through it at one point. One semester, I went through it. But I was a Tavarsky vodka girl, and I was a 99 anything. I like 99 apples, bananas, peaches. You know the schnapps.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely fucking not. I was a Parmesan from the bottle type of bitch. I was drinking Parmesan like it was orange juice. Like, I was choking on Parmesan. And I was also any vodka with the plastic bottle.
Pucker?
Burnett.
Oh, Burnett. Yes, we were all Burnett's girls. We were all Burnett's girls.
Minnie and I were at parties sharing bottles of Burnett's. Because they had lemon, cherry, orange. Bitch!
We were Burnett's girls. I was also a Pucker girl. I loved Pucker.
Honey.
Oh my God. Honey. This is, like I said, I'm into Taka. Oh my gosh. Girl 99 anything. I know that's right. Valerie's 8941. So Shar, while we were on the topic of music and I mentioned that Monica came and performed at our dear alma mater, you know, Versus is tomorrow. What team are you on? I know. By the way, Shar sings as well, you all. She sings as well. Down.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't make me turn my mic on.
Karaoke queens. Oh my
God. Babe, mahogany. I don't know why
are you like this? Why are you like this? Why
Babe.
is she like right there?
I don't know why she goes so far from me. We don't live in a mansion. So I have feelings towards both women. I feel like Brandy, for me, shaped so much of my childhood, just like between Moesha, between fucking, babe, can I see your phone? Because I'm not seeing the comments and I want to see them.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, baby.
How are you not seeing the Oh, because you broke your phone.
I'm raggedy. This is actually a new phone. Something about when I join people's lives sometimes, like I can't see the comments. Like right now I see 13 viewers and I see we stand Kiki. Like that's the last thing.
And I see 33 viewers and the comments are just going.
Hold that thought. I feel like Brandy shaped so much of my damn childhood. It's hard for me to not be like Team Brandy. But since that damn Langston concert, I have, and I already was a Monica bitch. Like, you know, I remember being on like my dial-up internet in the 5th grade trying to listen to that
Angel
Space
of
Jam
Mine
song. Oh, all of that. But since I heard her live, I'm like, Monica is undefeated. I mean, she is absolutely amazing, completely, extremely talented. And honestly, like if you go through the catalogs of both artists, I feel like Brandy might run out of songs. But
you know what, Brandy, I feel like Monica has the hits. Brandy has, if you artistically appreciate things, and this is not me diminishing Monica's legacy, but I feel like they both have different offerings to the music landscape.
Love that.
I say that to say I have been and will always be Team Monica. Now, for me, it dates back to The Boy Is Mine. I said this last week. When The Boy Is Mine came out, Monica, every time she opened up her mouth, I believed what she said. Yeah. Must you do the things you do? I felt like Brandy was singing the song. Monica made me believe the boy really was hers.
You believed it.
And I've seen both of them live. I've been fortunate enough to be in conversation with the both of them.
Oh, you're so famous.
Yes, I met Brandy twice out here, once leaving a club, and I interviewed her on a carpet once. And Monica, I met, of course, with the Monica Highlight back in 2009 when she performed at our school. Remember, it was her and Dondria? That was like a lit concert. That was our spring concert.
It was one of the most lit concerts I've ever been to. Like, it was so good. And like, Monica was so good. Like, it was like, what the hell? Oh, like, I knew she was good, but she is beyond. Like,
and I saw Monica. I saw Monica. She performed at the Escape tour because I went there for my 30th birthday because I was in auntie mode. I wanted, you know, like a fuzzy navel wine cooler, maybe a Black and Mild, you know, to usher in 30. And so Monica, I've always enjoyed her sets, but Brandy, let me tell you something. When she does that damn Almost Doesn't Count live, it is a religious. I'm not joking. That song becomes a gospel song.
That's how I felt about Monica in concert. She was giving me like the Clark sisters meets like Yolanda. I was like, why is she so good?
Yes. I'm so looking forward to this tomorrow. I got to get me a good snack. I got to go to the grocery store and get me a little cute bottle of a white wine. Remember when I stayed with you, when I came to Dallas, we went through so many bottles of wine. My God.
I know. And it was so fun to have you there. It was one of my fondest moments in that apartment, just like being in the bed with you and we're just like drunk, like, ah.
And we went to, remember you took me, it was me, you and Jossell, we went to that quesadilla place. It was like unlimited quesadillas.
Blue Mesa. That's their happy hour. It's a quesadilla bar and the most strongest margaritas you could ever have. Oh!
And it's all you can eat quesadillas, right? See, we don't have things like that in LA. We had a good, oh my God, we had a good time.
It was such a good weekend. And I feel like we haven't hung since then.
I haven't seen you in person since then. I have not. I mean, we've talked. We've done things like this, you know. I checked on you when you were, like this. When you were battling when Miss Rona came and tapped on your door. Which, by the way, how are you feeling? Because you were one of the first people that I know that contracted this. This was back in like April, right?
No, I got sick. Well, it wasn't April because it took me so long to get over it. I got sick March 18th.
So you were, like I said, one of the first people I know to contract this. How are things today now that we're on, like September starts Tuesday? So how are you feeling? What's it like today?
Yeah, I feel fantastic. I'm super thankful to God that I was able to push through that because it was very, very scary. It was very scary. It was like the sickest I've ever felt. My heartbeat dropped. It was dramatic. But I will say I have a touch of PTSD, honestly. Like, I'm so afraid to get sick that like any small thing is very big. Like, I was on the plane this morning and I felt like a little ache in my thumb. And so then I immediately go back to when I had body aches, like all over my body. Like, it's just like, it was just so bad that like, I definitely have PTSD. My poor girlfriend is probably so sick and tired of me because I'm always like, we need to get a test. Like, huh? Did you hear that cough? It sounded like, it's just like, but I feel fantastic. I'm super thankful. But like, I just, I just hope that everyone realizes that Corona is real AF, and it will like make you sicker than you've ever been. If you want it, if you want those problems, keep living your life like you have been.
What I've been kind of shaken about, which I'm so glad, I'd be praying for you like crazy, girl. You are you are a literal ray of sunshine. I told you are the sister everybody should want.
Come on.
The mother that I never had.
I can't deal with you, bitch.
That everyone deserves. I don't know a better person.
As soon as this is over, I'm going to go get so drunk.
I told you that. And so, for me, I've been like, oh my God, with cold and flu season right around the damn corner, mixed with Corona. It's just like, I'm terrified, like with the holidays encroaching and everything. It's just,
this, as you should be. I mean, we're not called to live in fear, right? We're not. So, we shouldn't be like moving through our lives like, oh, I'm scared. But I do think that it is something to think of and have in the back of your head, especially, like with us, we have parents that are getting older. Like my daddy, praise God, he just turned 68, so
my dad too, he turned 68 in May.
Yes. So these are things we have to think about. Like, I cannot bring something to my family. I cannot bring something to my diabetic mother. Like, I can't, because it could be detrimental for them versus me just being sick for a month. It could be like really bad. So
yeah,
it's something that we need to keep in mind. And I mean, I just really hope that people are wearing their masks and not going out to clubs and kicking it. Like, it can wait.
Oh, but they are, and they'll learn. They'll learn in one way or another. That's how I feel about it. I'm past the point of finger wagging and shaming people to stay in the house, because people are going to do what they want to do. But that's also been a deterrent for me from hanging around a lot of folks, because they are doing what they want to do. And I've been taking this thing, like I've been in this house, like even with the car, my social distancing has not loosened up.
Yeah.
Because the car wasn't the deciding factor. If I wanted to go out and do anything I want to, I could have, with the powers of Uber and Lyft. But it's just, it's very, very, I'm tired. I'm ready to wake up from this. Speaking of waking up from things, before you hopped on, I was just mentioning, by the way, okay, I'm kind of all over the place. You mentioned that you listen to music. We have a big weekend for R&B. Like I just mentioned, Versus is tomorrow. But we also had new music drop from Jasmine Sullivan, Toni Braxton, Tweet, Lettucey, PJ Morton, Keke Palmer even. Have you checked out any of the new songs?
First of all, let me get my mic out. I am a Jasmine, if you're out there listening, I am like one of the biggest fans of hers, because I just feel like she just represents like everything that I could have been. Maybe if I would have stuck with shit, or like had a voice lesson, or went to the Apollo. I don't know. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And I try to sing like her. Like I'd be like, like I try to hit runs like her. So I definitely listen to Jasmine, but she kind of got me a little emotional in my, because it dropped, I think it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
So as I was driving to work Friday, I was like playing it on repeat, and I had to kind of push pause because I was like, my emotions. I didn't know I was sad.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet and say she sings about unrequited love like no one else.
Oh.
Like no one else. I wasn't even going through anything. I've flushed all of my feelings out about, all of my situations. And I was like, whoo, hold on, you're drawing me back. I became a big fan. Like, I was always a fan of Jasmine, but what really sold me was that damn reality show album. Oh my God. That's what really made me like.
Because that's when we bonded over, because I never leave the house without makeup on.
I keep my cigarette in my pocket because I'm running to the market, because you never know. And that's true.
You never know.
That's like the story of my LA life. You never know who you're running into. You never know who's watching you. And I'm always, listen, if I'm going to deal with the problems of a man, he needs to be a man in a certain tax bracket. I'm tired of these niggas.
Ooh. Speak what you want. Say it.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to go through the rigmarole through the rigmarole.
See, that's when you know you got a friend who reads. Bitch, the what? That's why I need to read, bitch, so I can say shit like that and confidently, because I'm not confident. But I'm going to do shit like that. I'm going to start reading later this year.
Can you leave me alone?
The what? The rigmarole. What? A rigmarole.
Please, Shar. I'm about to start crying. Can you leave me alone? I'm laughing too hard.
The rigmarole. Who? See, I
If
can't.
I'm going to go through all of the nonsense of putting up with the man, he might as well be of a certain tax bracket.
Absolutely.
And we can talk off camera about some of the things. I mean, I haven't really been going through anything, but I've been on dating apps all month, and baby girl.
I'm happy for you, bitch. It would be like my life's dream because me and Shar go way back. So
Yes.
It would be like my life's dream to see you, bitch, just out here with your mans. I'd be like, yes! I would be so excited. I would stand it. I would double tap every opportunity I could. And I think that would really make me come to LA. Now I can come to LA because I want to see you with your boo.
Keep dreaming. You sound like you dream a lot. You're a dreamer.
I am
That's
a
New York quote.
You got to dream but you got to dream with the lights on.
I know. Listen, I'm trying to keep hope alive, but Shar, it's dismal out here, especially for a girl like me. It's dismal for cis women. It's even more dismal for trans women. So, yeah, it's a lot. We only have 9 minutes left.
I know. It's because I was 12 minutes late, bitch. I'm so sorry. I'm the fucking worst.
So I was talking before you hopped on. The VMAs are today. What age do you feel like you aged out of the VMAs? Because Keke Palmer's hosting. They got a few people performing like Gaga and Ariana, Maluma, BTS, The Weeknd. No one that I really care about. I will check out Chloe and Halle on the pre-show though, because those are my girls.
Okay. I really stand me a Lady Gaga. I fucking love her. And I really get into Ariana. When I was living in New York, she dropped, I feel like she dropped 2 albums, but that album with her Upside Down with the and that was right when she was going through that breakup with that Pete, or she was in love with him. Anyways, Ariana is a bad bitch.
She is. You said what?
So I feel like I will watch because I will tune in to see Lady Gaga and Ariana perform, because I was actually just watching A Star Is Born on the plane. Just like I just love me some Lady Gaga. I think she's so necessary. So I aged out of the VMAs. Wow, it was a long time ago. I mean, I just feel like I've at my circle of me, like knowing who I am and feeling who I am, especially as a Black woman, I had to stop doing certain things at a certain age, because I feel like once I went to an HBCU and once I figured out this is really, beautiful, Shar. Like, you shouldn't diminish that. Like, that's actually what makes you amazing. A lot of things like VMAs and MTVs, they kind of went to the wayside because I was giving so much support to BETs and Black people shit. So I kind of got aged out once I figured out who I was.
Yeah. For me, I think it's when the act started changing. I love me some Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
But as far as it's just I don't really care too much anymore. Even the BET Awards had me hanging on by a thread. And then living out here, I think I've just become disillusioned to award shows personally. Once you go to, they're way more exciting at home on your couch, believe it or not. Way more exciting. They are not the bee's knees in person at all. It's too much requirement. It's like you're at work. And then they capture the camera angles. There's specific angles that make a performance what it is versus if you're there in person and it's not that great.
Little lackluster.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Let's round this out, because I mean, like I said, there was so much, not so good news this week. Chadwick Boseman, who's one of my celebrity crushes, none of us knew what he was going through. He passed away after dealing with stage 4 colon cancer. He had it for about 4 years, I believe. How did you react to this news?
Yeah, so I was on Makeup and Chill, which is something I do every Friday. And then the people started coming in and letting us know. For me, I think it hits home to just knowing that, so many times people are going through shit that we really have no idea about. I personally have a friend right now who's battling cancer, and she hasn't made it public. She's just doing what she has to do, and I'm praying for her. So to know that Black Panther and all of these different, I was just watching that 21 Bridges, and it's to see that he was filming these things, knowing that whether he was in remission or whether he was deep in it, it's powerful. But it's also for me a little sad just because I feel like I am so public. So I feel like if I was going through something, I would tell my people. I would ask for prayers. I would probably post to YouTube. I don't know. So for me it was powerful, but at the same time kind of sad just because
It caught us all off guard. It's
yeah.
like, what is next? What, like last week, I was mentioning this before you hopped on. Last week, I was definitely talking to my guests saying, we never know. The way that life works is none of us know the next moment. None of us know the next headline. None of us know the next story. However, it seems very, very sensitive and very pointed, in particular in 2020. It's just like we can't catch a break. And it's challenging to compartmentalize feelings surrounding everything that's going on. It's just
Absolutely.
like we're
It's
about to kick off
literally
another week.
Yeah, like I was telling someone the other day, like 2020 has just been at my neck, like literally. And I mean that, like, I'm not trying to desensitize like the George Floyd situation. It's like, here we are in January, it's Kobe, and then it's someone else, and then it's fucking Corona, and then it's seeing more Black people getting slaughtered on television, and then it's, and it's like every week. And I told you, I lost a dear friend 2 weeks ago. He was only 36 years old. And then we turn around and Chadwick, it's like, I cannot. But I feel like, and if I can leave anything in the audience with anything, I do feel like, though, it is such an important piece for us to just remain grateful because we literally don't know, to be grateful. I'm even grateful to be here with you. I love you. I care about you so much. I'm grateful that me and my boo are about to go to brunch. Like, I'm just grateful I was able to see my parents this weekend. Like, we have to remain so grateful because we are not promised the next moment. And there's so many things to be so sad about. So it's like we have to remain grateful for the time we have.
Yes, and final note, it's what's funny about how you just mentioned that. Another full circle moment for me. I was on FaceTime with a friend on Thursday night, chat. Yeah, on Thursday night. And I was telling him how my body dysmorphia really, really, it's been kicking up lately. And I said, I chose to flip it on its head and be grateful that I have a functioning body, that I have the ability to do things. Like, that is the way that I've been working through it versus, stewing over surgeries I want and procedures. And it's hard when I follow some plastic surgeons. I had to unfollow them. And then everybody's shaped like the damn prongs, like a praying mantis, and it's like, is that a shape that I want? I need more hip? And how it's this drive to just never be satisfied. That's how consumerism works. And so but choosing to flip it on its head and be grateful for the body that I have and being just the abilities to do anything, and then for the following day for the chat news to happen, it's just like it made it all the more real for me. To just be, like you said, stay in a space of gratitude.
Yeah. And if I know anything about you, I mean, I haven't seen you in person in a minute, but if I know anything about Shar, bitch, you don't need no more hips or ass because sis has always had a, bitch, well, you always had a booty. Stop playing with me.
Try living in Los Angeles, Shar, and working in this industry.
Oh.
I get to feeling like I'm shaped like a Samsonite refrigerator.
Really? Because that's that good Chicago cornbread. That's that good meat. There is nothing wrong with what you got, sis.
Okay, well, I will take that to heart. I appreciate you affirming me. You get a bell ring. I realized we didn't ring the bell. You get a bell ring. And so, Shar, with that, we have 30 seconds left. Quickly tell everyone where they can find you.
Follow me on Shar Did That. Anywhere you can, type in Shar Did That. YouTube, it's not many videos, but I'm there. Instagram is my boo. Facebook, anything you can do, type in Shar Did That. Please follow me. I love you, Shar. Everything you're doing, keep it up, bitch. And yes, that's all I have. I'm sad we're leaving.
I love you. And thank you for joining me. For those of you who are joining me for hour number 2, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Shar, we'll text, we'll talk. Thanks for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation, and it'll be on my IGTV.
Oh, I love you.
Love you too. Have a good day and enjoy brunch. Bye, Mahogany, if she can hear me.
Bye, baby.
Bye. And with that, see you all next hour.